Hello and welcome. It's Natha. We're going to talk about the astrology for the month of February of 2023. If you do not follow me on Instagram at Electra_astrology, and I send out weekly astrology where I actually deepen into the things that I'm talking about in my newsletter. You can sign up for that at electraastrology.com. All right, you ready? We start off the month on February 5th with a full moon in Leo. Here's the problem. It's very easy to get caught up in what everybody else thinks, what everybody else wants, and what everybody else is doing. And when that happens, we totally lose track of who we are. What happens to your creativity? What happens to what is important to you when you're so busy worrying about what everybody else thinks? This full moon is in a square to Uranus in Taurus. We're looking at values. If you really want to get a sense of what you're supposed to be doing, you want to dial in what is important to you. Is money important to you? Are your relationships important to you? Is your communication important to you? Like, what is really important? Because we have spent a lot of time placing value on things that do not matter at all. Does it matter how other people perceive you and how they judge you? No. Does it feel like it matters? Yes. But feeling like something matters and something actually mattering are two different things. On February 11th, Mercury enters Aquarius. We have a lot of Aquarius action this month. Aquarius is the sign of the people. Be looking at all of the places that you let yourself be completely impacted by what other people want from you, what they think you should be doing, how they think you should be living your life. And if you want a good example of how impactful people are, perfect strangers are, go read the comments in a social media post. And I'm sitting here talking about how people perceive you, but how do you perceive others? Are you the judge? Are you the person leaving a negative comment? Are you the one that's telling somebody that they're cooking their food wrong or that they're having a partnership in the wrong way? When we look at Aquarius, this is energy that relates to the way that we relate to other people. And you have to take personal responsibility here. Mercury is the messenger god, and you will be getting messages all month about the way that you relate, the way that you judge, the way that you show up as a member of society or a member of somebody else's community. Do you want to look back and realize that you were that person that was casting judgment and trying to strong arm somebody into doing something that they didn't want to do because you thought it was right? Probably not, but again, up to you. February 16th, the sun comes into a conjunction with Saturn. And I'm telling you, these are the themes over and over and over. Sun in Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius. We always talk about the way that people judge us, but how do you judge others? And is it working for you? And is it working for them? Is it valuable and useful? To use the example of social media, you're scrolling through the comments. Somebody's cooking chicken. Somebody has not shown a video clip of them washing the chicken. And read under the comments, 500 people chiming in to chastise this person for not washing their chicken. Is that helpful? No. Does it mean that the person hasn't actually washed their chicken offline? No. So what's the point? So think about that in your own life, because Saturn has a way of asking you to take responsibility for where you're at. Because the judgment that we cast on other people is usually also judgment that we cast on ourselves first. And judgment cast upon ourselves isn't really ever that useful. I mean, yes, sometimes we need to keep ourselves in line. Sometimes we need to step it up and do better. But for the most part, the thing that we berate ourselves about are meaningless. So that's when we come back to this idea of what is really valuable. On February 19th, the sun enters Pisces. Energy shifts. Pisces is where we have to come into some sort of understanding that we are all connected. We are all a part of one thriving system. And that when we are acting out of alignment, it throws off the whole system. This is also where we connect in with higher power. We release some of our scurrying around, trying to impress other people, trying to control other people, trying to navigate the world surrounded by other people, and we tap into spiritual practice. We realize it's not about anybody else. It's really about what is internal and your own private relationship to your higher power. On February 20th, we have a new moon in Pisces. This really kicks off this Piscean energy that will continue to grow over the next 4 weeks. This new moon is in a conjunction with Saturn still. So you have to look at the places where you've limited yourself from tapping into your higher power. Or on the other side of that, Pisces can bring up a lot of fear. It can bring up a sense of, I don't have control. I can't control myself. I can't control these people. And then what? And Saturn is the reminder that structure and foundation is always the beginning. Meditate, journal, go to a sound healing, find a spiritual teacher, read a spiritual book. There are so many ways to come back to yourself through consistent, regular practice. But because the energy of Pisces is so nebulous, and because we've just come out of 5 months where we have been dealing primarily with themes that have to do with others, this is where we come back to ourselves. Once Aries season begins, then we really start to dive into the personal places within our chart, within the zodiac. But for now, this Pisces season is the culmination of all of the lessons that we have done all year, all of the personal pieces, all of the transpersonal pieces. It's a lot. Taking time alone, taking time to connect in with your higher self and your higher power is going to be what gets you through this. We are also gearing up for Saturn and Pluto to change signs. I'll talk about that in the March forecast, but we're feeling it. We can feel in our systems that there is movement, that something is changing. But in order to prepare for it as fully as possible, have to go inward. We have to let go of what other people think we should do. We have to let go of what we think other people should do. And we have to get prepared, come into alignment, tap in, and tune in. All right. If you want more of this, check out my Hidden Wisdom Astrology Circle. And I hope this was helpful. We'll see you next month.